This is the moon card from the Marseilles Tarot. There are two hounds howling under the moon. Moonlight is casting its glow, and there are two towers standing tall in the distance. There is a pool with a crayfish trying to escape. This pool represents the profound connection between our minds and the astral world, which is the realm of cause. The crayfish symbolizes our thoughts. When a thought strives to materialize, it resembles this crayfish struggling to reach the shore. Despite facing resistance, it persists, inching closer and closer to dry land. This portrays the tenacity of certain thoughts. The more they endure, the nearer the crayfish gets to solid ground. Transient thoughts return to the pool, while the persistent ones eventually make it onto the dry land or manifestation. This interplay proves beneficial in spellcasting, but less so in needless worry. Persistent worries can manifest into objective reality if they linger. Today, I'll discuss a powerful method to tackle worry. The process that I'm going to show you today is simple. It uses a glass jar and some iron nails. This is called a worry jar. Iron is a vital mineral in the body and the blood. It's also an ancient material believed to ward off negativity such as malevolence, ill will, worry, and sadness. Persistent worry and anxiety not only affect us mentally and emotionally, but can impact our bodies and our circumstances. The worry jar and the iron nails are tangible tools that can help us to calm our minds and purify them of worry. Whenever you feel worried, assign that worry to a nail. Be very specific about it. Instead of a vague concern like money, identify precisely what you're worried about, such as not being able to pay your rent. Anchor the worry to a nail with a very clear name. Once you've named your worry, affirm while holding the nail, "I confine this worry with this protective iron." Then drop it into the jar. Then seal the jar. If possible, keep your jar on a windowsill to let it soak in the moonlight. Otherwise, any spot is fine to keep your jar. Make sure that each time you do this, that you articulate each worry clearly by naming it before dropping it into the jar and sealing it. Keep adding worries throughout each month, and when the moon is full, bury the accumulated nails in your garden. If you don't have a garden, seal the nails up in a bag or a box and just dispose of them in the trash. This ritual helps in containing and releasing your worries. When you let go of the nails, they are simply symbols of past worries, no longer weighing you down and have no power. This practice signals to your deep mind that those concerns no longer hold any power over you. The worry jar is a potent way to collect, contain, and then release worries. This practice skillfully tackles all worry in a powerful symbolic manner. It corresponds to the concept of the astral plane depicted in the moon card, where lingering thoughts can materialize. Through the worry jar technique, you confine these anxieties and avert their actualization. Then during the full moon, you liberate yourself from them completely. The worry jar stimulates creativity and hinders worries from materializing. This approach enables you to center yourself on all of your preferred outcomes rather than being overcome by worry and anxiety. Fear and worry often stem from ancestral thoughts passed down through generations. Inherited fears range from the fear of falling, loud noises, darkness, and cold, to concerns about loneliness, hunger, wild animals, sudden movements, insects, reptiles, rodents, fire, being buried alive, and even supernatural beings like ghosts, demons, vampires, and werewolves. By acknowledging these ingrained fears when they come up, we can grasp that they are not set in stone, but are products of thought, and thoughts are much more flexible than any inherited genetic physical traits. Whenever a worry or fear surfaces, bind it to an iron nail, drop it into your worry jar, and contain it. Prevent anxieties from festering unchecked. Lock them away in the jar, and then dispose of them at the full moon. This uncomplicated yet powerful ritual was given to me many years ago from a teacher. This ritual aligns with the Hermetic law of polarity, highlighting the existence of two sides to any issue. If you find yourself on the side of worry or fear, train your mind to think of its opposite pole. To do this, drop that nail into the jar containing your worry, and then allow your mind to focus on its opposite. For instance, you would shift from worry about money to thoughts of abundance. Or if you're concerned about your health, contain that worry in the jar and then shift to its polar opposite, visualizing yourself free of that condition. Shifting your mindset from one pole to another can be very powerful. But to transition smoothly, utilize the worry jar to manage your concerns. Then you can dive into spell work like angelic petitions, candle spells, psalm magic, or poppet magic to cement your fresh thought form into the astral realm. Remember, our persistent thoughts mold our reality, so it's very important to cultivate deliberate constructive thinking practices. Using the worry jar helps to facilitate this by binding those worries so that you can set your mind free to focus on what you want and build up positive thought forms. Remember, once you've named your worry, affirm while holding the nail, "I confine this worry with this protective iron." Then drop it into the jar. Seal the jar. When the moon is full, bury the accumulated nails in your garden. If your jar happens to fill up before the full moon, just start a new jar. There are no limits to employing this method. I hope that you utilize this tool and that you find it helpful. Thank you so much for joining me today. Until next time, blessed be.